When we perform calculations with measured values, we need to make sure that we are using the same rounding rules throughout so that our values are consistent. In this course, we will be applying the following rounding rules. We need to make sure I identify the last digit that we're keeping. We're going to be dropping the rest. If the first digit that you will be dropping is 5 or higher, we're going to round up. If it is less than 5, we're going to round down. This is going to make a little bit more sense when we look at a few more examples of this. In this example, we are going to round each of these values to 2 significant figures. Each of these is a measured value. We're going to round them to their first 2 significant figures. First, we need to identify the first 2 significant figures in each value. In 325, the first significant figure is 3. Our second significant figure is 2. We can identify 3 and 2. Since these are my first 2 significant figures, the value that I will be dropping is this 5. That means that this 2 is going to have to round up because this value is 5 or higher. 2 rounded up is 3, so we get 3, 3, and we can't just leave this as a 3 because 33 is not a rounding of 325. We would round this to 330 millimeters. So sometimes you will need to put in a 0 as a placeholder. These 2 values are significant. This 0 here is not significant. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on the second one. We need to identify our first 2 significant figures. These zeros are placeholders, so not significant, not significant. Our 3 here is significant, and our 4 here is significant. The next digit is 1, so that's less than 5. So we are going to round down. We're going to keep this as 0.034 grams. We're going to do the same thing on the next one. 3.0815 inches. 3, 0 are the first 2 significant figures. Our next value, the one that we're going to drop, is an 8. So we're going to round the 0 up to 1. So it becomes 3.1 inches. The next value, 0.935 milliliters. The 0 is not significant, it's just a placeholder. The 9 is significant, 3 is significant. We're going to round it up because the next value is a 5 or higher. So we have 0.94 milliliters. In these examples, we're going to round to 3 significant figures. 3.14159. Our first significant figure here is our 3. Next is our 1, our 4. Notice that the next digit is a 1, so that's less than 5, so we can round this to 3.14. On the next one, 3.0951576 centimeters. 3, 0, 9 are our first 3 significant figures. The next digit is a 5, so that's going to round up. But if we round up 9, that's going to give us 10. So we get 3.10 centimeters. So be careful about that. If you have a value of 9, it's going to round up to 10, and you end up with a 10. So you still need to make sure you have 3 significant figures in your answer here. The next one, these zeros are not significant. 3, 8, 7. The next digit is a 1, so we can 0.00387 meters. Sometimes we aren't rounding based on the number of significant figures. Sometimes we're going to want to round based on the place value. In this case, I want to round these values to the thousandths place. So it's important to remember our place names. This first digit is our tenths, hundredths, there's our thousandths. From there, our rounding goes exactly the same. So we're going to round to the thousandths place. So the thousandths place is the last place I'm going to keep. The next value here is a 5 or higher, so I'm going to round that 1 up to a 2. So I'm going to get 3.142. On this next one, our thousandths place is 3 places, so that's our last value we're keeping. The next value is a 1, so I can round that to 3.095 centimeters. On this last one, 0.00387,189 meters. Our last digit is going to be our thousandths place, so remember tenths, hundredths, thousandths. The next digit here is an 8, so we're going to round that 3 up to 4. 0.4 meters. We'll be applying these rounding rules as we learn about the calculations and how we round with significant figures. So do make sure that you practice rounding so that you can apply it to calculations involving significant figures later.